Hi, everyone. Oh, why did it do that? I don't know. Sorry. It's not a TLD live stream unless we have some hiccup. Welcome to the TLD live stream. We see Tactical Java's pre-gaming it. Pre-game time, Joe.
Heck
Wizard
yeah.
get your nods. Wizard get your nods.
I was ahead of you, bro. That glass is half empty.
Shadow Man. Hey y'all, just saying hi from the honeymoon. Shadow Man, hopefully I doubt you saw you opened your gift yet, but just it's probably gonna be your favorite gift.
Yeah, and it was sent
Right.
with love.
Yeah. Enjoy, buddy. Harry's on here. Wizard Gandolphin, Wizard, Iron Sights in the house. As you see, we are Walshless again tonight. Thank the Lord above. So whoever prayed for last week and this week, thank you.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
Cody actually went to look for him. He hasn't returned either. So, R.I.P. you two.
Sturgis is into the house. What's up, Sturgis? Derek Murphy talked with the
Awesome. Sturgeon came back. Like he already feel like he's been here forever.
Yeah. Your favorite libertarian wizard, my dudes. He says Gunwall is looking sick, Joe.
I know it looks good, huh? I changed the color. That's all I did.
I like the green.
Yeah, change the color.
11 Drew is in the house.
If you guys saw the photos, I finished the Space Cowboy gun. Well, not completely finished, but.
Shadowman says, I saw it before I left. It is awesome. Love it. Thank you.
Oh, really? He got it? He got the gift?
He says he did.
The note went the best part.
Yeah. Hopefully you didn't throw away the note. Hopefully you read it. But if not, I have a copy, so I'll email it to you. Croak says, they're deep in Nebraska wilderness, living on tree bark and moss with Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Derek Murphy says, finally get to see a full live while on vacation. I always catch the end of them due to work. Welcome, buddy.
Dang.
So at the beginning, Joe drinks a lot. We do this game, for those of you that don't know, anytime there's some comment that says wizard, like what Croak did here,
That
wizard
counts.
Dolphin, that counts.
That counts.
We drink. I have wonderful water. Joe has something stronger than water.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I like this one. Fireside.
Yeah.
It's like, it's from Colorado. Normally, any type of liquor from Colorado, not good.
Yeah, you were saying like it doesn't get hot enough to make good bourbon or something like that in Colorado.
I didn't say that. You watched that on YouTube or something. No, I don't even know how to make bourbon. So
Derek Murphy says Wizard Joe.
No, thanks, buddy. Right back at you, Wizard, buddy.
Oh man, 1911 Drew showing off his 1911 in the Discord.
Is he? Let me see it.
I'll pull it up. It's nice. Looks good. Hang on.
I bought another one.
Did you?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, it's so small. I can't see it. Oh, dang. Dang. Skeletonite trigger, ambi safety, extended. What is it? Dovetail? Yeah, dovetail.
Yeah. And he's got a Corona Premier, something in the glass there. Some bourbon, maybe?
Heck yeah.
Nice. Why is it? There we go.
Yeah. We went to you've heard of Shields, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So wife had never been. We had our grandson. My grandson, like, favorite store for some reason. I like Bass Pro better, but so he wanted to take in his grandmother. So we went, and they had that exact 1911, and I almost bought another one.
So the one like what 1911 Drew just showed?
What?
You're saying, yeah, you saw one that?
This one.
Oh, okay.
That one. I won't buy that exact one again.
Yeah.
It's so worth it.
Trying to find. Okay, so Shadowman says, I need a copy. It showed up as I was heading to my wedding. Amazon Drive asked where I was heading. So this is what it says. I'll send you a copy if you want to. We look So for everyone that doesn't know, let me pull up a picture of what we bought him first.
Yeah. Give a little backstory.
It's
You know, like,
awesome.
oh, for everybody, don't forget my wedding registry or whatever you call it.
Yeah, Amazon Register. So this is what we bought him. We bought him the
Mm,
Freedom Edition Bug Assault 3.0.
yeah,
Okay.
because he told her that his registry on Amazon or whatever, and he sent us
Yeah.
the link. And
Yeah.
after the show, we went on there and we looked.
We looked. Okay. So
Okay,
then we bought him
yeah,
that.
we
And
looked.
this was the note that we
Yeah,
put in it. The note said, oh, no, it went away. Hang on. Let me back up. We looked at the registry, but all the gifts sucked. So here's something better from the TLD family, but not Walsh because he also sucks. Uh,
it's like you're friends with children,
yeah.
and it's awesome.
911 Drew says, yep, it is bourbon. 076 is in the house. What's up, dude?
What's up, buddy?
Zach Fett, Wizard Dem Knees. Where'd you get your knots?
Mm.
Here you go. Your favorite libertarian. A pirate walks into a bar with a steering wheel in his pants. The bartender asks the pirate, why do you have a steering wheel in your pants? The pirate shouts out in his best pirate voice, Wizard. No.
What the
LOL.
heck, dude?
LOL, now you have to drink.
Yes, that is true. That was the best part of the joke, having a drink.
Uh, yeah,
Ooh, that
so
one's strong.
Walsh is still on family vacation, I think, through next week. I don't think he's going to be here next week. We'll see. We do have, I think I got confirmation. We should have a special guest on next week, and the week after that. We should have a couple guests.
Dang.
I don't know if I should say who it is.
Mm-mm.
It's not a surprise or anything.
No, but I don't even know who it is, and I want to be surprised.
Okay. Right.
I just want to show up next Thursday and be like, oh, that's who it is.
Yeah. Robert First.
Let's be honest. I'll probably be like, I don't even know who you are.
You met one of them. Actually, you met both of them at SHOT Show.
Oh,
CCW 22LR. Yellow. What's up, buddy? All right. So, YouTube videos for this past week. Oh, let's see here.
you had your video dissing on the Prodigy.
I wasn't dissing. You're just a
You're
fanboy. And
dissing,
you
dude.
got mad.
No,
It shot fine. Like, it wasn't. Shadow Man says night. It wasn't a bad
night,
shooter.
buddy.
Very flat. It was a very fast shooter. Return to Zero was really, really good. I just didn't like the controls. Now, my first 2011. Joe was talking to me a little bit before the show started and was just saying, like, the way the trigger bar that wraps around. So it's
Yeah,
necessary
on
to make
1911 and 2011, the magazine go right in the middle of the trigger
yeah.
bar. So,
Okay. Paul Sturgill says, okay, serious question. Making chicken fajitas, then realize I'm out of tortillas. Quick. I need a suitable substitute.
chicken nachos. Boom, done.
Yeah. Do you
Do
have
it.
chips? Do you chips? If you don't have chips and you still want to make like a taco type thing, you could do, I guess, do you have any
Don't
lettuce?
say something gross. That I knew you were gonna say something gross. You nasty dude. You nasty.
Well,
Are
I
you
said
serious?
nachos.
Why
Nachos
don't you
would be a
make
fish fillet.
chicken Cheerios and just put some milk on it?
Oh gosh.
So gross. Lettuce.
So the
Does he have
there you
chips?
go. Yeah, Prepper Book Club says chips or rice.
Yeah, rice and easy way out. It could be bland,
Yeah.
but
Um,
yeah.
so my father-in-law does. I don't think he does anymore, but growing up, he grew up in like the 50s and 60s. I've never heard of anyone else doing this. He would take pieces of bread, cut them up, put them in a bowl.
Mm-hmm.
He'd take cheese, cut it up, put it in a bowl. He'd
Okay.
take pickles, cut those up, put it in a bowl, and pour milk over it and eat it.
No. You had me until the milk thing happened. Like we used to cut up block cheese and put it
Yeah.
on pieces of bread and stick that in the microwave and
Yeah.
nuke it until everywhere. And then a big thing in Ohio is taking a grilled cheese and putting pickles on it and then dipping it in ketchup.
Really? Ketchup. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not a
Actually pretty
pickle.
decent.
076 says, go to the store and get tortillas. CCW
Too
2205
late.
says, I'm reporting this channel. Nice, easy. Thanks, fellas.
You,
Yeah, honestly, that's probably what I. Well, we have chips. We usually keep bags of chips on hand because my toddlers
yeah.
love chips. So I would go the nachos route.
Yeah, dude. Put chips on a plate. Even regular potato chips, dude. Cheese, nuke it, and then put your chicken on top, and then put Texas Pete on top of that.
Hmm. Zach Fett said, fry up some shredded potatoes in place of tortillas.
Mm,
Well, I can see
that
that.
sounds good too.
Or like
Yeah,
potato
that
patty,
sounds good. Like hash browns.
like a hash
Yeah.
brown. Yeah, yeah, dude. But everyone,
So,
well, I shouldn't say everyone. Most people probably have a bag of rice at home. Yeah, so Prodigy video. That was my biggest thing. My biggest gripe was the controls. But talking to Joe before this live chat tonight, was just kind of explaining to me that most 2011s are like that. So, but you put an extended takedown lever on yours, didn't you?
yeah, side release. Yeah, yeah,
Side
yeah.
release.
Um, yeah, that's what it ended up being. I do like it better. I'm not gonna lie, but there was a comment in there that
Mm-hmm.
will help you out a lot. And then, so with my mag release, I can't just use the side of my thumb. Like if I'm holding the grip like I was shooting it, just tap it with the side of my thumb, and I'm glad. I don't want my mag release being that easy. I don't have to rotate the gun in my hand, but I do have to rotate my thumb a little bit.
Okay.
And then most 2011, either people just rack the slide, or once you insert your new magazine, and once you're rolling back on the target, you
Yeah.
hit that release with your support thumb.
So okay, now there was I could have sworn I was reading comments that you don't or you shouldn't hit the slide release on 2011s.
Yeah, dude, that's okay.
I
So
mean, I did it, but is
they're
was I doing
they're
it wrong?
training. No, they're training that into a lot of stuff. So I don't know. I would have to know the person in the comment. This is what I think happened on this. Okay.
Hmm.
So they're training in to not hit the slide release anymore, and to just rack the slide
Yeah,
because of stressful situation, minor muscle
yeah. I
movements,
remember
stuff
us
like
talking
that,
about that
right?
last week. Okay.
But it's like the telephone game. So an instructor says don't do this, and somebody hears you shouldn't do that, right? And then
Yeah,
they regurgitate it as you shouldn't do that. It's metal on metal contact, and there is force against it. So every time you hit the slide release, it starts to wear down the finish, and it can eventually wear down the metal, I guess, if you did it a million times. But yeah, I don't believe in any of that. You can
uh,
crack stuff. Supposedly, you can crack stuff like I forget what it's called, but on the back there, that block where your firing pin is. If you dry fire in 1911, there's also that.
is it called a firing pin block?
No,
Okay,
it's
seemed
no.
too easy.
That's a
All right.
completely different thing.
Okay, good. Zach Fett said the slide release on the Prodigy needs to be replaced with an extended slide release. Same with the magazine release.
Watched the video that I did. This one
Yeah,
didn't work out well. The the
10
10 8
Okay.
the 10-8 didn't work out very well for mine. I still have it here. It was the slide went tight, dude. The slide went tight. So
Okay.
then I sent it forward, and it sat there for a little bit. When I went to rack it, like I could feel the lugs
Oh, really?
of the barrel. Yeah, it was a little tight. So I went back on that EGW, I think it's called, and ordered theirs, and theirs
Hmm.
was perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'll do that.
And
So I got to do
it's
some.
relatively cheap.
Um, and then the other video that Walsh did was the "What's in my range bag," which apparently there was a lot of
I gotta
people
watch that.
asking about that, like asking Walsh what's in his range bag. So whoever you are, you should slap yourself.
that's that's rude. Maybe they're looking for good ideas, but I'm not gonna take that advice from Walsh. Did he even have a single fruit roll up or a single snack in a range bag?
No,
Yeah,
he did
exactly.
not.
Why would you take advice for a man that doesn't take a snack to the range? Why?
Bingo.
Why would you take advice from anybody that doesn't have an emergency snack?
You need to.
Hey, but I'll tell you the two things that I did to mine.
Hmm.
I think both of them are from EGW. I'll find out for you, but I think that's what they're called. I did the magwell extension. That thing fit amazing, and then the
Okay.
slide release takedown, whatever you want to call it, I put that on
Yeah.
there, and I love that gun, dude. But I liked it a lot before too.
Your favorite libertarian says 99 boys got to hit the road early tomorrow. Love you.
Oh
Bye.
no,
See you, bud.
later, bud.
Because Zach Fett. He had no sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zach.
Yeah. Do you really want to take advice from someone
God,
like that?
right,
Sicko. He's probably left-handed too.
right.
You know, it's funny. So, totally changes the subject. Okay, like this is how, um, I guess how dumb I am. Um, so my mother-in-law, when both my older kids are left-handed, and my mother-in-law, when they were younger, she was like, "You got to correct that. Like, you don't understand how hard their life is going to be later on if they're left-handed." Okay, and we didn't. Um, but my wife does stuff that makes me think that maybe
She
she
went
was
left-handed.
left-handed and her mom like beat it out of her.
Mm-hmm,
So okay, so when I open a box of cereal, if you
mm-hmm.
just imagine you're getting a box of cereal, okay?
Okay, yeah.
How do you open the box and how do you pour it? What hand do you use to pour the
Like
cereal
that.
into the?
Okay, yeah. I definitely use my right hand for
Yeah. Okay,
anything.
so this is bizarre. Welcome to TLD live chat where we're talking about how to open up cereal boxes. So I open up the tab like towards me, right? And then if it's a brand new box, I open up to have the pour spout on the left hand side because I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm,
I pour it
mm-hmm,
with my right hand. But my wife
mm-hmm.
doesn't. My wife opens the top of the box the same way, but she puts a pour spout on the right hand side and she pours it with her left hand.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm with
That's
you.
what I said. And
I'm with you.
so I was telling her, like, maybe you were left handed as a kid and like your mom beat it out of you or something. She has no
Yeah,
memory of it though.
yeah.
So,
Who would? I mean, she went 1 and 2. What do
yeah.
you remember
Well,
from when you were 1 and 2?
I don't know. My
Yeah.
son, we were at down like Walmart clearance, and they had left-handed scissors, and he was like, "I gotta buy it." They were on clearance, like $2. I'm like, "I'm not buying you those. Like, if you're gonna buy them, you use your own money." So he did, and you don't realize how big of a pain in the butt those scissors are. I mean, I could use them still, but they just feel so weird in my hand because I'm trying to use them right-handed and they're left-handed scissors. Gosh, cross-threaded fools. 076 Liberty, wrong-handed. Derek Murphy. Imagine the therapy session. My mom used to beat me. Oh, were you a problem child? Nope, I was left-handed.
Mm.
CCW 22. Which 2011 y'all have? We're talking about the Springfield Prodigy. Joe and I both have the Springfield Prodigy. I think what I want to do. I was telling Walsh this. Like, I got to plan a trip to Nebraska and do a range
Uh-huh.
day with Walsh, where he's never shot the Prodigy. I've never shot the Bull Armory, and we just record ourselves. We go out to the range. And here's a Prodigy. I take the Bull Armory, and it's like initial impressions of each other's
That's gonna
hand.
suck, dude. That's gonna suck.
Why is that?
Because that's like saying, well, he's never driven a Honda Accord and he's never driven a Corvette, so we're gonna swap and then see who likes
Well,
what
but the
better.
price difference, MSRP, the price difference is it's not terrible between them. And it's like
The
$600.
Prodigy. What?
The MSRP, not on sale. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about sale price. MSRP of the Prodigy is like 1,700, I think.
No, it's not.
Okay, I thought it was.
No way, dude.
I'm gonna
It's
check real
like
quick.
1,500, and if you pay 1,500, you're a fool.
Yeah, I get that.
Did you get the 4 1/4 or the 5?
5.
Oh, that's a difference too.
So
Mine's four
the
and a quarter.
5, according according to Palmetto State Armory, this is not what they're selling it for, but the MSRP is 1704.99. They're
Why
selling
would
it
you
for
look at? Why would you
1260.
look at them?
I just searched. I just googled Prodigy, Springfield Prodigy,
Why wouldn't
and
you look at Springfield website? 'Cause that's where MSRP comes from, the manufacturer. I mean, the first word at manufacturer.
yeah, that's true. You're right. Sorry, Joe.
Maybe that's a different. I've only really looked at
Springfield.
the
I
four and a
hate
quarter.
Springfield Armory so much. They are the golly.
This is one of the dudes you can complain.
Well, okay, so they have this new like, are you 21? You
Yeah,
have to be 21 to enter. Every
yeah.
other website, yes is on the left hand side, and in this, so I just immediately clicked left, which is no, and it booted me off the website.
That's funny.
Armsman, what's up? I haven't seen you comment before, so welcome to the show. Good to have you. He says prodigies can be found at 11 these days. PSA is gadget.
Yep,
Yeah,
I agree. I think the bull, if you can even get it, is getting close to $1,000 over.
yeah, probably. Okay.
Yeah, it's almost double the price.
This is, you know, why I didn't go to Springfield's website.
Yeah, because it's trash.
It won't tell you. Oh, MSRP $1,500. Okay,
Told you.
15.
I think I said that 5 minutes
You
ago.
did. You did.
Okay, just making sure.
1911 Drew. Joe, is your essay Prodigy 4.25 or 5?
Four and a quarter.
Michael Farley says, "Forgot I was late. Didn't you? I forgot it was Thursday. Didn't you have an interview tonight? I thought you had an interview."
Did he?
The Armsman said, "Good evening, gentlemen. Usually listening, been subbed for a while. It's like
Well, thanks for
YouTube.
commenting. Welcome.
If you have anything that you'd like to talk about, bring it up. Walsh isn't here, so we can talk about whatever we want.
He's been listening for a while, so he knows the ropes.
Except for cars. Joe's
Yeah,
refusal to
don't
go down the car route. We're not going to do that
don't.
tonight."
I'll yeah. It'll be like Alice.
Yeah. So okay. So Prodigy and what's in Walsh's range bag. One thing that we didn't talk about, I was kind of surprised by the first video that he did about the suppressor to your door
Hmm.
blew up. It was like thousands of views that first day.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was like 5,000 views. I think it's almost 10,000 right now. His second video, like the part two,
Yeah.
I,
2 views.
I don't even think it passed 500 views.
Yeah. They didn't push it. Too many
Michael Farley
people.
says, "I had an interview for an electrician apprenticeship today." Nice, man.
Nice.
Hopefully it went good.
Yeah. That's a good trade to get into. I
Yeah.
can't do it because I would kill myself, dude. I really would. Not like in a bad way, like that job sucks so bad I'm going to jump off the building. No, like
Yeah, you'd like shock yourself.
I can be stupid sometime. And yeah.
You know, I found this. I've been watching this channel on YouTube called, I think it's Dave's Automotive. It's this guy out of Centerville, Utah. I think he's like the largest engine rebuilder in the Western United States. I think. Anyways, dude, he reminds me of like a 70-year-old you. He's just like he he bashes he bashes all makes, but the short that I saw the other day was like, "Oh, look, we have another broke Ford 6.7 Power Stroke. Oh, that's a big surprise, right? No, it's not a surprise. We have 4 of these in the shop right now." Like, oh, this is Joe in 30 years.
Yeah. I believe it. I believe it.
All right. What else? What else is on the docket?
I don't know.
Walsh is having. We could talk about it now instead of towards the end, but Walsh is doing GunCon. I think that's coming up soon. I think Croak's driving out to that.
That's
Last I
crazy.
remember.
They're gonna break the internet.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at the calendar. Oh, tomorrow. Well, we'll get that towards the end. Walsh's video tomorrow is going to be awesome. All right.
I can talk about that a little bit
Your
because
space cowboy gun.
yeah, I paid for all that myself, so I can say the good, the bad, and the ugly on it.
Make good. Zach,
So
he asked a question. What is GunCon? And I butchered this last week. I got it wrong. So Joe's going to
from
correct
what
me.
I know about it, it's it's a lot like what's it called on a smaller level?
Shot show.
Yeah, it's a lot like SHOT Show on a smaller level. It gets put on. I think Brownell gives up the space, or they have something involved in it.
Okay.
So it's by where Brownell headquarters is, but it's just like any other type of um, get together for the people of the industry to show off their new stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure who's gonna. I haven't looked to see who's gonna be there.
Like company,
Like what
there's a
what
bunch.
businesses, what companies are gonna be there?
There's a lot.
Yeah, I think it's 2 days, 2 days worth.
So you want me to talk about that?
Yeah.
So Cody and I were having a Space Cowboy build off. Cody obviously lost because number one, not beautiful, and number two, his is still in stock form. I don't even know if he shot his yet. So he lost.
Probably
But
not.
I went to Ranger Point. I decided to go through Ranger Point. Right now, the two big company out there are Ranger Point and what's the other one, Jason?
Uh, maybe I'll get it wrong. Costa?
No, that's
No.
through Ranger Point. We
Um,
we went to
no,
their little
Midwest.
booth there.
Midwest Industries.
Midwest, thank you. Those are the two big ones. I think Cody holding out because they're word that
Oh,
Magpul gonna
Magpul.
do some stuff. And at SHOT Show, we saw some stuff on a lever action from Aero Precision,
Hmm.
which surprisingly, I picked up that gun and I hated it.
Yeah.
So I went through Ranger Point, handguard, both of the quiver, the rear stock, the two top mounts, the cool T-Rex takedown. I love that. That's my favorite part of it. And then the top rail and the muzzle device all added up to just around $1,000. They do military and law enforcement discount, which helped out some. And no matter how much you spend, you're still going to pay for shipping. So
Hmm.
I didn't have the right piece, so I had to order something else, and I had to pay another additional shipping. That always sucks. It came in. There's no instruction whatsoever. There's some tutorial videos, but this is the new and improved version. And my tube, my magazine tube, wouldn't come out. So it took me a minute, dude. It took me a minute to get that thing together, which was a pain. And then the top, I'll say it all went together. The fit and finish amazing. I'm glad I took my time. I really like it. I got the Cerakoted one. I really really like it. But the top mount on the receiver for your optic, I got that, and it came with these screws, and I put the screws through it to see how many threads would actually go into the firearm. And no joke, dude, on a machine screw, there are maybe two threads sticking out.
Oh wow.
Maybe two threads. It was absolutely ridiculous. They were flat tip screwdriver tops, which are just gonna get destroyed. So I know Ranger Point will never hear this or listen to this, but change out your damn screws. Change out your hardware. Luckily, I already had a rail on that, so I just used the screw that were from that rail and
Hmm.
got 2 to 3 times the length, and they tightened down just fine. So
Yeah. The Arms Man says, "Isn't GunCon set up by the Gun Collective?" Yeah. So the two.
it might be.
It says brought to you by the Gun Collective and Brown House.
Uh-huh.
The two that they say. Um, Michael Farley, I feel like I did all right in the interview. I always have a hard time selling myself because it feels awkward to talk about myself. Yeah, I get
Mhm.
that. I used to coach. Coach is probably too strong a word, but troops that I would have that would go in front of boards for awards. The very first question you typically get asked in any interview is, "Tell me a little bit about yourself." So I always told them, write something down and practice it. 30 seconds long. Have something that you like, but write it down ahead of time so you know what you're gonna say, and then just practice that. Practice saying that, so it comes off really smooth. It makes you look good because you have an answer that comes out of you like pretty quick instead of oh well 34 live with my mom. I got 7 kids. Cody, I have shot my lever gun. Walsh was there as a witness.
Once, Cody, once.
1911 Joe, what caliber is your space lever gun?
I did mine in 357 mag or 38 special
Oh, so it'll
because
take
I'll be
both.
honest. Yeah, yeah. Because I'll be honest, that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to be able to shoot it, like have a lot of fun with it without recoil. 38 special doesn't really recoil. It's a little bit cheaper to shoot, kind of comparable to 9 mil, maybe a little bit more expensive.
Hmm.
And if I get a Space Cowboy revolver, I'm going to do it in the same round. And that's like Cody 45 something 40, not 4570. I've Cody, what are yours? Cody
45
did the
long
same
bolt.
thing. No, he has a revolver in it.
Mm,
So he has one or two revolver actually that's already chambered in it.
it's not 45 long colt.
I don't think so. It might be, dude. It might be. That's a heck of a revolver though. I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to shoot that for fun.
No, man, those bullets are like, well, I guess it's like a 357 Magnum or
I
like a
guess,
44
but
Magnum or something.
I could shoot 38 special out of mine. And I'm not just saying
Yeah.
price, but recoil too.
Yeah. He says
RP
45
Cody.
long colt.
It is.
Mike
You're right.
Friday, RP Cody Hilburn. It's like he's here with us right now.
It's so fresh in my mind. I feel like I can hear him.
You're stupid.
He was putting his children down. Maybe he'll still get on once they're down.
Yeah, and they stay down.
Yeah,
Get
Nyquil.
down and
Nyquil,
stay
bro.
down. It's funny, me putting my toddlers to bed versus my wife putting the toddlers to bed. I definitely got the side eye the other day just because of how we just parent different. And for a 4 year old that's going crazy, my wife's always like, just breathe. Let's talk about this, right? Like it's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about feelings. And
Yeah.
so she got fed up one time. Totally wrong of me to do this, but I'm telling you my fault. So hopefully you guys learn from me. She comes in, she's like, Jason, will you come out here? Like she's pitching a fit, and I was like, I mean I will, but I'm not going to be talking to them about their feelings. Are you okay
Yeah.
with that? Are you okay with me parenting them my way? Not wasn't a good interaction with my wife after that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she just glared at
I
me.
thought she. I thought she would have said yes.
No,
Dang.
no, she was not happy with me.
I was being
1911,
serious, dude. I thought she would have been like, yes, in this case, you can.
nope. Perfect, man. That works. Very versatile calibers.
Yeah. I'm happy with it. It's not.
Yeah.
If I weren't using it for actually something, I wouldn't have gotten that round,
Mhm.
but I'm just using it to plink and have fun. So
Yeah. Nice.
now
All
we got to
right.
get Jason to get one.
I know. I want a 4570 though. Just I don't know why to have, I guess, but I listened to Joe talk about it. It's like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to have a 357 and 38 special because I already have a revolver in 38 special,
Yeah.
and I have a bunch of
Yeah.
ammo for that. So maybe I'll go that
It's my
route.
wife's gun, but we have one. Well, it used to be Cody's gun.
All right,
Correction.
we're
Cody's
at the
wife's
half hour
gun.
mark. We got to add. We got to add to our
Dang.
sponsor. Hopefully this works. Today's live chat is sponsored by Defense Mechanisms, and I muted Joe off stage so he can't throw me for a loop. I should have planned this better and worn a Defense Mechanisms carrier, but I have their APOC right here. It's a fantastic patrol carrier that I use for work. The thing just is robust. I love that they don't nickel and dime you for the parts and the pieces of it. The one thing that always fails in all the patrol carriers that I've had has been the belly band. We've talked about this before, and I love that the belly band that comes on that is replaceable for $10. So instead of having to spend $700 on a whole new carrier, you just spend $10. So defensemechanisms.com, discount code TLDCO. And what do we have next? We have Q&A. I do have a couple questions, Joe. I tried to plan tonight. Get ready. Okay. If Cody comes on right now, he's gonna mess up mess up my whole structure here. The two of us. All right.
He won't.
Question number one. And this might tie into our Second Amendment hour at the 1 hour mark. Question number one: should foreign governments be able to provide input on our rights?
You were being serious on that?
I'm being serious.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why not?
Yeah, well, if they become a U.S. citizen and vote, sure.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about the should the country of Canada, should their government have any say on our rights? Not
I don't
people.
know. Do I get to say? Do I get to have a say on how they live or how they run their country and how they live their life?
So far, no.
No, I don't. So you stay in Canada.
Armor's
No
Man
offense to the Canadian.
says no.
Yeah, I mean that's a. I feel like I'm being punked right now. Like,
No, and again, if you follow Washington gun law, you may know where I'm going with that question, because that was something that William Kirk from Washington gun law said. This is
about
the most
Mexico.
important Second Amendment case that is facing us right now. And I feel like Firearms Policy Coalition really did a good job um, hammering the point home. I just don't know if it's going to be
I didn't watch
effective.
that video, so
Oh, it's really good. Um, So everyone's saying absolutely not. No, they should not. That would be a full hell no.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, last time a foreign government tried to tell us what to do, 1776 happened. So
we shot them back to their country.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's definitely something that I don't know if Mexico or any of these other countries are thinking of themselves like we need to do these. We need to bring these lawsuits against these companies in America, or if it's anti Second Amendment activists that are using these foreign governments to do that.
Right on the nose.
Yeah, I mean
Hmm.
that's what William Kirk talked about in his video. Pepper Book Club, super duper hell to the no. Zach, that I remember that Ruth Bader Ginsburg famously crowed that she would often look at foreign countries when weighing her decisions. Yeah, she was crazy though. It doesn't count. Um, it's it's interesting though. It's an interesting question to bring up, and the reason why is because it's happening right now. Like it's something that we are facing right now in our country. The Supreme Court is willing to, I believe, they're willing to hear the case. Sorry, I'm laughing because Cajun just sent a message over on Discord. He'd asked me a question: Are you wrong or correct-handed? And I said correct-handed, and he replied, "Good. I can't be subscribed to a bunch of genetic defects."
Just 50% of them.
Yeah, just half of us are genetic defects.
No,
So
not
that's why,
us. Them. It's them.
yeah, it's not us. We're the
No.
normal ones.
Yeah. It's
We're
the two
correct-handed.
people that continuously get lost in the desert.
Yeah,
Wonder
maybe
why.
that's telling you something.
Yeah. They're holding their compass with their left hand.
Maybe,
Duh.
maybe their parents should have beat them more. 223 DMR. Good evening, men. What's up, dude?
Yeah, buddy.
Speak of the devil. Bailey Luke is in the house. 1911 Drew Zach. RBG was saying some craziness in South Africa about our rights. I certainly didn't think it was a good thing. Yeah, but it is something that we're facing right now. And so, if this is allowed to go through, what other countries? What else could what other rights could they erode? And that I guess that kind of gets down to why is it always the Second Amendment that they're after? Like
Yeah.
here's Mexico.
Because their agenda, dude. Their agendas.
Mexico has some of
That's
the
a.
strictest gun laws in the world. There's one store in Mexico that you can legally purchase guns from. Yet I think they're ranked third in firearm deaths in the
Yeah.
world.
I mean, I would kind of be salty too if the ATF would just letting full auto machine gun loose and losing track of them.
Yeah.
I can see where they're mad
Yeah, but
about
why
that.
go after? So the lawsuit is Mexico versus pretty much every gun company that you have in your safe right now.
Yeah, it's you know why. It's not. You think they came up with that idea?
Yeah, probably not.
And I don't mean that derogatory. I mean, why would they do that? Why would a different country do that? Why would it even matter, right?
Yeah. Zach Fett says, "Oh, they're after the First Amendment." Yeah, you're right.
Sure.
076 Liberty because they are tyrants. Me- Mexico should sue itself and shut the hell up. Robert First is a good point, man. He says because once the two is gone, the rest will follow.
True.
Yeah, that's something that I have family members that are pretty liberal. I laugh because I was just thinking of the quote from Parks and Recreation where they're asking Ron Swanson, do you have any family history of mental illness? And he says, I have an uncle that does yoga. But, there's been arguments that I've had with them, and one that comes up is that I hear a lot. Second Amendment should only apply to muskets and guns that were around back then. And usually my response is, okay, so then should the First Amendment only apply to how far you can yell in the town square?
Yeah, and a felt,
And
and
he's
you can only write. You can only write with a felt tip, with a feather,
yeah, a
with a
quill.
feather, and it has to be sealed with wax in your
Yeah.
stamp if you want to write anything.
So if that's not true, if the First Amendment applies to what we're doing right now, allowing us to talk on technology, then why doesn't the Second Amendment
Dude,
apply
but
to?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. It is scary thinking about, for me, thinking about breaking into somebody's house and them having a gas operated semi-automatic on the other end of that, right?
Yeah,
But dude, a blunderbuss,
yeah, yeah,
like, or a 50 cal musket ball.
yeah. Dude, tear right through people.
Yeah. And if it only applied to the gun that we had back then, you're allowed to own a cannon back then. So that's what would be parked in my front hallway, would be a cannon. So when
Loaded with all-
you come into the front door, you better button hook quickly before that fuse runs out.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um. So this is Bailey Luke. They have been after the First Amendment too. People get kicked out of their own banks for saying the wrong thing. Maurice Barlow, hello, you guys rock. Mexico's a joke, ran by the drug cartels, puppets, Bloomberg puppets.
Yeah. They
Uh,
don't It's advantageous for them to be on one side over the other, in my humble opinion, not getting into politics.
yeah.
But I think it's better for the government of Mexico to favor one side than the other.
Yeah. Bailey Luke says the first 10 amendments limit the government, not give the rights to citizens. It states
Mhm.
that the rights have always existed and states the
Mhm.
government isn't allowed to touch them. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
true. It's such
100%.
a, I guess this is a part where I lose faith because it's such an easy document to read and to understand, but it's not something that is readily followed. I
Mhm.
guess is how I would say it. I was listening
Adhere
to a
to.
podcast. Yeah, I was listening to a podcast with Tulsi Gabbard, and she talked about on Constitution Day. Congress has a tradition where they read the Constitution on Constitution Day, and you can volunteer to read certain sections of it. And she volunteered, so she went to the chamber, and she was like, first of all, there weren't a lot of people that were there. Second of all, she realized that there was practically no one else in her party. She's a Democrat, and so she brought that up, like, why is that? And the response was something to the effect of, well, that's seen as a very conservative thing to do or to follow. And it's like, wait a minute,
Mhm.
but you raised your hand and you swore an oath to
Swore it.
hold this.
Yeah.
Why would you
Yeah.
then go about I mean, I know why, but I guess I'm asking rhetorically. But why would you then go and try to destroy it instead of uphold it?
Yeah. Jason trying to get me on a tangent so he can tell Walsh that it all went to crap and it was all my
No,
fault.
that's not at all it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting that um, I think up until like the early 1900s, new members of Congress were given a copy of the Constitution, and that stopped. And you look at what has happened since our politicians have stopped focusing on that document.
Look,
What's that?
they don't care, dude. They don't care. They don't care. That's just
Yeah.
like, I mean, we're both law enforcement, right? And I won't get too far on a tangent. But law enforcement, in my opinion, the same damn way today. And is it all of them? Nope, it's not. But there, I watch so many different First Amendment auditor, and they ask cops all the time, and not in a snooty, not in a bad way, but they're cops that are challenging them to give them their ID and that they can't be standing on the street corner and saying that like, and they're like, hey, what are the 5 elements of the First Amendment? And I have yet, I'm thinking, yeah, yet out of all the cops that they've ever asked that, for one to answer it.
Hmm.
It's just
It's
bad,
interesting.
dude. Like people don't know it. People, Congress won't know that.
Yeah.
Like when
Rob,
AOC was first elected, she didn't know the 3 different what's it called, the government.
branches of government. Yeah.
Yeah,
Robert First says they've been talking about jailing people for questioning our government. Dude, here's again, don't want to
they're
get
doing it
political,
all over Europe. They're doing it all over Europe,
but you look at
especially England.
what's happened in our political climate recently, and I would just say that if they're able to do things to people that have been in power before,
Mm. If
what
they're
does
able
that
to
mean?
change law and hold them accountable to their changed law, what's
What does
to
that mean
stop
for
them
us?
from anything?
Yeah. Um,
Mm.
Derek Murphy is it's baffling, isn't it? They swear to uphold and defend the Constitution, yet ignore and purposefully infringe on our rights.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
and do it deliberate. They do it deliberate. Look at the governor of New Mexico. She knew what she was doing was unconstitutional, and her answer was, "Well, then take it to court."
Yeah.
Because she also knows that it's going to spend 2 to 4 years going through the court system before anything ever comes back on it, and by
Yeah.
that time she'll probably be out of office. And even if she's not, then she still got rid of people with guns in those counties for 2 to 4 years. They don't care.
Prepper Book Club put a meme in Discord and it says the only reason the government would want to take away your guns is because they want to do something you'd shoot them for.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I look back and I think of I remember hearing stories from my grandmother. There was a Japanese family that lived right next to them during World War II, and that family got hauled off to an internment camp and owned their house outright. But once they go to that internment camp, like they're basically their house was foreclosed on, they got sold to someone else. This family lost everything. You look back and think, man, our government's been doing this for 80 plus years. You know, and who knows what we don't know about. So it's interesting.
Well, it's all about what everybody goes along with, right? The only way that the government can do anything if the mass population either go along with it or doesn't stand up to it.
Yeah.
That's the only way that they can do it. But in today's day and age, and I'm not talking trash because I'm part of it, right? I'm the breadwinner for my family. I can't get locked up. I can't go away.
Yeah.
My family would, we lose everything that we've worked our whole life for. So people are afraid to stand up. People are
It's
afraid to
interesting. Yeah,
do anything.
absolutely. Derek Murphy said the county fairgrounds in my city was a camp for the Japanese for World War II, yet no one knows that anymore.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, before we go, before Joe gets into tangent, shifting gears.
Thanks.
Question number two, a very different question. Should firearm carry insurance be mandatory? And if you guys have paid attention to any of the Second Amendment stuff that's been happening around the country, San Jose, California, did have a city ordinance. I don't know if it got upheld, but they passed an ordinance that in order to carry a gun in the city limits, you had to have carry insurance. Bailey Luke, I have to head off. Night, everyone.
Hi, buddy.
Prepper Book Club. Joe, how do you feel about free travel?
So, do you want me to answer? Or you want to answer first?
Um, so I don't think anything should be mandatory. I think the argument. I'm not making this argument, but I could see someone making the argument of, well, in order to drive a car, you have to have insurance. You have to show proof of insurance, so you have to have insurance on a car. And I would counter and say, well, no, you don't. There's people that I got rear-ended by someone that didn't have any insurance. Like, people drive without insurance all the time. Is it a violation of the law? Maybe. In some states, maybe it's a misdemeanor. Maybe it's who knows. But it happens. I don't think you could force someone except through threat of penalty, fines, or jail. You can't force someone to get auto insurance. And I think it's the same way with this carry insurance. You can't force anyone to get firearm carry insurance unless you're talking about sending people to their home to arrest them. Because if they don't comply, what's going to happen? What's the outcome? Let's go down that path. If they're carrying a gun and they don't have insurance, what's going to happen to them? They're going to be fined. Okay, well, what if they don't pay the fine? Well, then we're going to send people to their house with guns and arrest them. That's what it all boils down to, in my opinion. So, no, I don't think it should be mandatory.
Yeah. So I second that. It shouldn't be mandatory. Name another constitutional right that's your given right by your creator, whatever you believe that to be, that you have to pay a monthly subscription to.
Yeah.
I guess somebody could argue lawyer, but that's you still get all your free, you still get a trial, jury by peers, you get all that. And if you can't afford it, then the government has to provide it to you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that has to be an option, right? If you prove that you can afford it, then the government has to provide you with carry insurance.
Yeah. Derek Murphy, no, it should not be mandatory. Zach Fett. First of all, there's currently no such thing as carry insurance. Prepper Book Club. Carry insurance? That's carrying 2 pistols, right?
Yep. That's an extra mag.
Yeah. Zach Fett. So these governments want to saddle us with the law that cannot be fulfilled. Of course, dude. That's what it's. I feel like that's all that we're saddled with is laws that cannot be fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
Something here in Washington State, they passed a law, I think in 2020, maybe 21, that severely restricted police officers from pursuing suspects that drive away. If you initiate a traffic stop and the person drives away, like basically it was pretty much flat across the board. You are not to pursue them. And so
Right.
what happened? I think last year there was something like 8,000 um, people fled from police in vehicles. And so the law got amended or changed here in Washington State that if the police officer has a belief that the person is under the influence, or if they're a violent felon, like if you see someone shoot someone and then they jump into a car and drive away, yeah, you can articulate why you need to engage in that pursuit. But I could just imagine the backlash if, well, I thought he had a DUI. The guy flees. He's not drunk. He's not under the influence of anything, but hits a divider and careens and crashes and dies. 100% that family is going to sue that cop. And there's no, I highly doubt that this state would have the back of any law enforcement officer that happened to. So all the time, man, there's laws that just cannot be fulfilled, or it's at the detriment of the people.
Yeah. Well, that people are bringing up in a really good point that civil, right? So
Mhm.
a civil infraction and a criminal infraction are different, right? If you don't wear a seatbelt, you get pulled over. What is that? Civil. That's not criminal.
Mhm.
You didn't create a crime against somebody. Speeding can get to the point where it's criminal, right? But for the most part, civil infractions are just pay to play.
Right.
They're a fine. So it's no different than going to an amusement park, or it doesn't affect people that have money. It only starts to affect people that have money when stuff's starting to get impounded or license start to get taken away. Then it's an actual punishment for people that have money.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. Say you're not supposed to park somewhere, right? But you have money coming out your ears, you don't care. So you park there. Is that really affecting you at all?
Mhm.
And you pay the parking ticket every time you park there. It doesn't affect you. If they tow your car, it does, right? So it didn't affect you until it became a criminal matter. And that's how all of this stuff is. That's how it all is.
Um, so kind of a funny story that came out of Spokane, Washington. There was a guy who he got a ticket. He parked in a no parking zone. There was a sign that said no parking, and underneath that it said permit required. Now, typically when you see those signs, there's a line between the two. So it says no parking and then permit required. This sign didn't say that. So he gets a ticket and he goes to court and he fights it. He takes a picture of the sign. And he's like, look at the sign says no parking permit required. And the judge sided with him. He's like, yeah, it does say that, right? The city should do a
Mm-hmm.
better job, get better signs.
Yeah.
But the fact that he had to go through that, who knows the time out of his, he probably had to take a day off of work because they're not going to be open. The court's not going to be open on the weekend, right? When you're free, takes a day off of work. Like, how much money did he lose that day to go and fight this system over a parking infraction? Which exactly what Joe's saying. Like, it's a civil, at best, it's a civil penalty.
It only affects people that don't have money or
Yeah.
that can't afford. I shouldn't say don't have money. That can't afford that ticket, right? That needed that money to go elsewhere, whatever
Derek
that is.
Murphy, Derek Murphy said, "Well said, Joe. Wizard for that speech."
Thanks, Betty.
Mike Farley, remember, punishable by fine is legal for a price.
Yep, that's the quote. Thanks, Mike.
Pepper
Is
Book
legal
Club,
for a
it's more money
price.
for the government to gobble up and oppress the citizenry. Robert First, driving a car is not a right, but the Second Amendment is a right.
Bingo. That's the difference between car insurance and gun insurance.
Oh, 076 with the Wizard Jimothy. Wizard, get your nods. I'm out of water. Sometimes when I'm out of water, I'll text my wife and say, hey, can you bring me up a cup of water? I didn't do that, though. Maurice Barlow, Wizard, and it looks like some wands. Flashing some wands.
Dang.
All right. So we're about at the end of our Q&A and everyone's favorite part of the show, two-way news. All right, Hosea, two-way news. So we talked about this during one of the questions. Should foreign governments have any type of influence over our rights here in America? And the lawsuit that I'm talking about is Smith & Wesson Inc. et al. Versus Mexico. And basically what Mexico is saying is, or what these anti-gun folks are saying is kind of what happened after the Sandy Hook massacre. Like, gun companies should be held responsible for anything that happens with their guns. Now, what
Cool.
076 says, Sovereign Joe time. So what I thought was really good is Firearms Policy Coalition wrote a amicus brief, however you pronounce it, basically
Amicus.
saying amicus.
Mm-hmm.
They basically go through and like, hey, we've seen this carried out before, right? Remington had to file bankruptcy because of the millions and millions of dollars of litigation that they had to go through, and they have a really good word that I'm using from now on called lawfare, where you're using the legal system to conduct warfare in areas that you typically won't win. And here we are, we're talking about the firearms industry. And so what Firearms Policy Coalition is saying is, hey, this initial lawsuit was struck down by the district court. It went up to the appeals. I think they remanded it back to the district court. but I believe the Supreme Court is going to hear arguments on this. And there was a law that was passed that after the Sandy Hook thing that basically said gun manufacturers cannot be held, or companies can't be held liable for an unlawful use of their product.
That was already written in law, though. That's why that stuff didn't help. So what with the Sandy Hook thing? What they argued in that they purposely, I'm going off of memory. Don't destroy me too bad in the comments, guys. But that they purposely marketed their stuff to kids is what they were trying to say. Remember that? Yep. And that's why they got it pushed. But Mexico's saying that we're responsible for the guns that come into their country, then you're responsible for the fentanyl in our country. Good luck, dude.
Yeah,
Good luck.
But my issue is that I don't think anyone's willing to take. I don't think anyone's going to go to bat against Mexico. They should, like the way that you're saying it right now. Like, okay, you're going to come after us for this. We're going to come after you for the fentanyl.
But that's why we need. That's why I don't want to get too political, dude. That's why we need the people in power to have a spine.
Yeah.
Because if it's not okay, even if I didn't like guns, right? Let's pick a different thing that I don't like. There's nothing that I don't like. Fords, okay. So say they're suing Ford for the amount of drunk drivers. I would be just against this as I am with the Second Amendment. You know what I mean?
You would be like, yeah, go after
No,
Ford.
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. But we need people that can see past their nose.
Yeah.
Okay? Yep. They can see the writing on the wall and what can of worms this is going to open. Just like the more recent court events in New York. Like, whether you like the person or not, you're opening Pandora's box, and once it's opened, there's no closing it.
Yeah.
And when you allow Mexico to do this, then you're going to open it all up to everything. If Mexico doesn't want the gun in their country, then keep the gun out of your country. And if you can't figure out how to do that, then it's your problem. Just like it did with us with fentanyl.
Yeah.
I never blame Mexico for that. I blame us for not being able to keep it out of the country.
Sure. Like we should have responsibility to secure our borders and protect our citizens, and we're not doing that. Yeah. Michael Farley says, instead of holding the gun companies responsible for stuff going on in Mexico, let's hold the ATF responsible for Operation Fast and Furious for their hand in sending guns to cartels. 076 Liberty, nope, not a none. They should just stop sending guns to Mexico. Mexico needs guns for cops or military. Call Europe because we are all out.
Yep, I agree with that.
Derek
but
Murphy,
that's on the gun manufacturer. So the gun manufacturer should put a cease and desist. They should not. They should get together and be like, "That's it. We're not doing this anymore." And I was just talking about this. I know I'm not going to get too far in a tangent, Jason, on car stuff, but I think we should do the same thing with California with emissions, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like if you want to keep doing this, if you want to now you want all the semi trucks to be electric. Do you know how dumb that is? Yeah. Like by the time they put all the battery on a semi truck, they can only carry like I'm guessing here, but like 15,000 pounds worth of material, dude, of a load.
Yeah. So
like, what's the point? What's the point at that point?
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, that reminded me of, I know it's not Second Amendment, but California, because they've been cracking down on fuel power, gasoline and diesel vehicles for so long, and so many people have switched to EVs or hybrids. Yeah. Their gas tax their coffers are almost empty, and they're saying we're not going to be able to keep roads repaired and things like that. So there's a pilot program, 6-month pilot program for a group of people to see how it goes. But you mark my words, it's going to pass. They are going to be charging people 30 cents per mile.
30 cents a mile.
30 cents a mile to drive on California roads. You're going to be paying taxes on that now. Yep. Like it's never enough for them.
Yep.
076 Liberty. Amen, Joe.
I didn't get too far on a soapbox.
You're going to be in tax per mile here in California. I didn't know you were in California, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm from there. I feel your pain, sort of.
Yeah, and no offense to you, Derek, but with all the rules and all the regulation, and I get wanting to be conscious, right? I get, but they're taking it too far. And at some point, the vehicle manufacturer need to be like, okay, we've had enough. Uh, we're not going to make any California compliant vehicles,
Yeah.
and
Well,
then see what happens, dude. See what
yeah,
happens.
I think you're right, Joe. I think the stance that they've taken, and maybe economically it might be the right stance. The stance they're taking is, well, California is such a huge market for us. It would be foolish for us not to make those vehicles. But
Hmm.
again, I think what these automobile manufacturers are seeing is just like on the Second Amendment side, the goalpost constantly moves. It's never
Hmm.
whatever you do, it's never good enough. Um, they're always going to ask for more. So,
That's just
what?
like Magpul.
Yeah.
Magpul did it to Colorado. They used to be in Colorado,
Hmm.
and they said, "You pass the magazine ban, and we're out. We're taking our stuff." And the idiot politicians were like, "That's fine. We don't care." Dude, over $1 million in revenue to the state every year. You think that they haven't felt that? Every year they feel that. And
Yeah,
now it goes to Oklahoma and Texas
but it's
because
not
that's where they
enough.
moved to.
They haven't changed.
No, no, I agree. But I don't know. Maybe I would argue that's why none of the other stuff have passed since then.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
Like, no, we still don't have
Could
the
be.
magazine stuff, and it's hard to overturn and reverse that stuff,
Yeah.
right? But I was worried, and I know I'm going to pass. It'll probably pass next year, but every year that we've had big stuff like the assault weapon ban and everything else, it hasn't passed. We haven't followed suit as fast as Washington and Oregon have.
Yeah, yeah, you're
And
right.
normally Colorado's second on the list. We're
Yeah.
we're mini California up in here.
Derek Murphy, I totally agree with what you guys are saying. They can't comply with tyranny. The problem is you have all these lefties flee their crappy states and infect the good ones.
Yep.
Yep. Maurice, yes, California is a state where everyone is leaving and never comes back. Ever the unfree state of California. What a joke.
We'll see.
076. Anything that the government forces on the populace always crashes and burns. Take DEF, for example. It doesn't work and actually increases fuel consumption.
And dude,
Um,
it is
DEF
the most
is
ridiculous system. We have more
some
problems with that.
exhaust
Huh?
fluid. What's DEF
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
again?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't understand the I don't know if you again here we are we're a gun channel. What is DEF like? How does it? What's it supposed to
It
do?
it gets injected into I'm gonna call it, for lack of a better term, the muffler, right? It's not the muffler in the DEF system. It gets injected into that. It gets super hot temperature called regenning, and
Mm-hmm.
it burns off. It traps soot and it traps other particle, and it ends up burning them up.
Okay.
So there's less particle coming out the exhaust pipe. That's very layman terms.
Okay.
But it clogs up all the time. It screws up all the time, and then just think about limp mode in your vehicle. Like
Mm-hmm.
you had a van that went into limp mode,
Yep.
it puts the trucks into limp mode where they won't go over 5 miles an hour. Like
Oof.
dude, it's the most ridiculous thing. That we fight that more than anything. We fight DEF systems more than we put tires on trucks.
Golly.
Yeah.
Derek Murphy says DEF is actually killing our bees, which is causing a problem with our almond trees where I live.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
know. I know. Pig pee.
27 Drew. Good Lord, when does the taxation stop? I don't think it ever will. Joe mentioned this at our last live chat. Um, the country went to war over a 2% tax on tea. And here we are. We're some of us are facing. My father-in-law that used to live in California um, told me that I mean, I may be getting the dollar numbers wrong, but something like any dollar that he earned over $82,000 was taxed at 50%. So there was no incentive for
Unbelievable.
him to make more than $82,000 a year because it was going to be taxed at 50%.
Yeah.
Why would you invest all that time and energy to have the government take half of it? 076 Liberty limp mode at high revs. Hmm. Michael Farley taxation stops when bodies start dropping. And I just don't know if there's ever going to. I don't know if we are too placated. Might be the wrong word, but if we're too soft that Man, Joe, I thought
I
you had
wouldn't
said
even.
a few Thursdays ago is like basically we're the frog in the pot of boiling water.
Yeah, I wouldn't
And
say soft. I wouldn't even say any of that. I'm too worried. That's what it is. I have kids, I have grandkids, I have a wife. Like
mhm,
I have to take care of my family.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And I don't know, dude. Just look at what history has shown us. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like people were getting arrested because they bought a plane ticket to Washington D.C. They weren't even around the area, and they were getting arrested.
Michael Farley says we've gotten too comfortable. Yeah, I think we have. 076 says every empire falls.
Yeah, I don't like to think like that. I hope things will change before it gets that far. And nobody wants violence. Nobody, well, some people do, I guess, but people in their right mind don't want violence. Nobody wants that. I just I hope that we're not knocked down, ground down to a point where a foreign power thinks that they can step in. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep. Derek Murphy says, Joe, that's exactly how they got all of
I
us
know.
subjects. No more human birds and public neck stretching.
Yeah, I know. I'm not
Uh,
saying it right. I'm just saying where I'm at. Like I try to be real.
yeah, Purple Book Club dropped another meme in Discord. I love it. It's it says the Second Amendment is for shooting tyrants, not hunting. So when should we start shooting tyrants? I don't know. Nobody wants to be the first one to try because, well, after that it gets difficult.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
I think it's the Constitution. I don't know, not the Constitution. I forget what it is, but it might be the Constitution. What's the document that says once the government is tyrannical, it's our job to stand up and
Isn't
fight
that the
against it?
Declaration of Independence? The
It
talking
might
about
be.
like watering the tree of liberty with the blood of tyrants, or is that just another comment from Thomas Jefferson?
I don't know.
Too bad. Too bad. Croak's power is out. Otherwise, we'd be asking him.
Right? Derek said, I agree, Joe, not hating. I am in the same boat. I didn't take it in hate, dude. I didn't. I promise. If it came off that way, I'm sorry, but I didn't take it in hate. I more, I wouldn't say ashamed. Uh, I just hate that I'm in that position,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't change it even if I could. So, yeah, it's hard.
Doc Cypher, it's too hard. I don't want to do it. Michael Farley says Thomas Jefferson said that. Yeah, but there's a document that talks. I mean, I don't know if it was something that he said or if it was written in our one of our founding documents. We'll probably find out after the live chat.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So tough. If you guys get a chance, watch the Washington gun law talk about this lawsuit from Mexico to basically it's pretty much every major gun manufacturer: Smith and Wesson, Glock, Ruger. There was like
It's dumb,
there was a whole
dude.
bunch of
It's dumb.
stuff. It is, it
It's
is,
not
but
gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna go anywhere. Okay, so let's say that they win. Now what? Now what?
well,
Our
I think
government, our legal system cannot tell somebody that they have to pay a foreign government, right?
it's not that
That's dumb.
though. What the concern is that these gun companies are going to spend so much money defending it that they're going to have to go the way
Just
of like
lose it. Just lose it. F them. What are they gonna do?
maybe. I
Don't even
just don't
show up
think
in court. Don't
I
even
don't
show up
think
in court.
I don't think they would. I don't think they're going to do that. I mean,
I don't,
I think they should. I think that's a better course of action than trying to fight it.
yeah. Or let's get somebody, a law student that do stuff, have to, what is it called where they don't get paid? Hire them.
Yeah, Michael
Let them
Farley.
cut their teeth on that stuff.
He says, I believe it was Ben Franklin that said the thing about overthrowing the government being a citizen's duty after the government becomes tyrannical.
Yeah.
Um,
What else in Second Amendment, dude? The NRA had a win. Ooh. But that was more First Amendment related than
it
Second
was.
Amendment.
There's a lot of stuff
Um,
that's kind of weird. You know, we talked about
oh,
the law out of California allowing was it felons,
yeah.
nonviolent felons to get their gun
Uh-huh,
rights or something like that.
uh-huh,
That was
uh-huh.
pretty big.
Ninth, yeah. The fifth decided to hear like combine like five different cases and hear them all,
Really?
and it's regarding the pistol braces.
Ooh,
So we already have a nationwide injunction on that coming out of Texas, and the fifth have been pretty favorable to the Second
yeah.
Amendment.
Derek Murphy says, "I feel you, brother. Wizard on that one."
Yeah, I saw it. I drink from. I'll do it again.
Okay, there you go. You gave another one.
Um, but yeah, the fifth they're going to take arguments on that, and I think don't quote me on it, but I think they're due. They're going to start hearing argument on all the combined cases in August. I want to say August, so relatively
Nice.
soon, dude.
Yeah. All right. So hopefully, guys, there's some good news coming down the pipe for Second Amendment stuff. We
I'm
try to
excited.
stay on top of it. At least give you this 15-minute section that we set apart for Second Amendment stuff. That we try to bring you stuff that we think is important. Feel free if you guys want, research it and drop comments in while we're talking about Second Amendment stuff. We'd love to learn more and to share the knowledge that we can find regarding Second Amendment stuff. Um, Last but not least, we can talk about what we have coming up. Joe, do you
Man,
want
you
to?
early as heck.
Yeah, no. Do you want to go
I,
over anything while I get Walsh's schedule out?
um, yeah, I. So Jason talked about a holster during a Prodigy. I have the Safari Land 2011 holster.
Okay.
Uh, and I'll spoil it because people, if you're in here, you're a true fan. I'll spoil it for you. So I did some recording, but I don't know if I'm going to release a video or not. It's if you've used one of those Safari Land holster, you have to get a nub mod. I don't know why Safari makes them like that, but for me, drawing out the holster, it gets stuck in the holster all the time.
Hmm.
I was looking at my holster, and there's a piece of Kydex where the piece that you hit with your thumb, you start bringing it back, and the Kydex gets in the way, and that's why you need the nub mod to make it taller over the Kydex. Well, I had a nub mod, but the 2011 holster, the thumb release had a different shape and size than other holsters, so my nub mod didn't work, and I didn't feel like spending another $30 for another nub mod.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, what if I just remove the Kydex? Instead of making the thumb release taller over top of Kydex, why don't I just remove the Kydex? And it actually worked amazingly for me. But
This is something Zach Fett released it to Discord. So you could put, I think there's a way to put it on Discord, or we could just drop it as a members only video if you want to do that.
I don't think I'm good enough to even go just normal, let alone member only.
Murph
That's why
420.
I'm considering not releasing it. I don't think it's worth it.
He said, surprise the sovereign citizens like Safari Lands. 076. I got to go get my kids to bed. Good night. I'll see y'all next Thursday, God willing. Thanks, buddy. Be
Later,
safe.
buddy. And
Um,
then Walsh is gonna want me to do a video on that. We'll see.
Space Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. So for those of you, Walsh has it. Gosh, I think he has it uploaded already. I don't know. I believe the Agilite, the new medical pouch. I think he's doing a video on that tomorrow. Maybe he didn't get it in time. I'm not sure, or maybe they're pushing it back. But I know for sure he does have the PSA Jackal video coming out Sunday, and that was one that really surprised him. He wasn't. He had told me when we first got it, he's like, dude, this thing is so heavy. It's just too cumbersome. Like it's not gonna be a good shooting gun. And it was zero point 0.6 MOA. And he was just like, golly, this thing was a really good shooting gun. Still heavy, still was a little cumbersome, but shot really, really good. So you'll see that video Sunday, possibly the Agilite medical pouch tomorrow. Um, I'll be doing some podcast interviews tomorrow, so you'll see. podcast with Palmetto State Armory that should air next Tuesday. And then we're going to have a podcast with the owner of Defense Mechanisms, Tim, that'll air the Wednesday after that. So that's what I got.
Dang.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So that week,
I don't know what I have going on.
dude, this calendar, I put together a calendar, and it has been super helpful because one of the things that I try to do is like I build the live chat every Wednesday night, so it's ready for Thursday. And one of the things I always bugged Walsh about, like, hey, do we have a sponsor? If so, who is it? And it was usually I'd always forget about it, so it was like last minute. So I now have it for the next 2 months, like who the sponsor is, so I know ahead of time. Finally got a little bit of organization under my belt. It's awesome. Murph 420. My grandma got my Sons of Liberty Guns Work upper today. She called me asking why I sent her a rifle. LOL. Yeah, I had so
because everybody needs protection, Grandma,
right.
even at your age.
So my in-laws brought me. They just visited this past weekend. They brought me. I shipped a barrel down to them, and it wasn't because I couldn't get it here. I could, but the Sportsman's Warehouse here didn't have any locally. So there was one down there, but they would only ship it local. They wouldn't ship it to me. So I had it shipped to their house. And it was the Odin
never
Works.
buy. There you go.
Yeah, it was an Odin Works super lightweight 9mm barrel. Normally they're like $200 some odd, and they had it on sale for like $50. So I bought one. So they brought it up to me, and my father-in-law was like, "Did you make us bring you something illegal?" He's like super concerned. I was like, "No, you didn't. Everything's okay. There's no muzzle device on it. Like there's no threaded insert. Anything that I would think of that would make it scary. It doesn't have any of that stuff. So fingers crossed."
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to building another 9mm AR.
It's not going to be good at the one that you already have. You're going to be disappointed.
Dude, I already am disappointed.
Yep.
I love that CMMG one.
Yeah.
Murph 420. I was going to get a precision upper from Ridgeline Defense, but they said no uppers for a while, then dropped one 8 days later, a.k.a. today. Ooh.
Uh-huh. Did you already spend the money?
Probably. Murph 420. I want the PSA 9mm to trash.
Dude, don't. Do the CMMG and trash that one. And I only say that because I know it will hold up to it.
Yeah. It works really, really good.
Dude, it's so good. It's my favorite AR to shoot.
Forgot about that Ranger beach landing. Interesting. Victorious Dead is here. What's up, dude? I believe used to be Duke of Tennessee. So welcome. Good to see you again. Walsh isn't here.
Remember all this?
I don't know, dude. I have, you know me, man. Remember that time I was like, "Hey, does your dad still work at that fish hatchery?" You're like, "How do you remember that?" Yeah, I remember dumb things. Not that Duke of Tennessee is dumb. I love you. All right, let's wrap this up. So, guys, we appreciate you being here with us tonight, as always. Victoria's Dead says, "How do you remember that? It's your picture, dude." And Duke of Tennessee, or Victoria's Dead, had some amazing comments. So I don't know where you've been. I miss your comments. Bring them back, please.
Dude, I forgot my close friends' names. I'm like,
Derek
Jason.
Murphy.
Dang it, got it.
Full live. Good to catch a full live and vent with like-minded guys. Sorry for blowing up the chat tonight. Great work, TLD guys. Hey, man.
Are you sorry, dude? You made it worth it. Yeah. See, don't apologize. Mike's already on it.
Doc said, I probably should remember that if I decide on going to RASP. Tactical Jawas, and have a good night, friends. Yeah, so we appreciate you guys being here. Derek, don't apologize, man. We're always happy to have fans here, and we love. I genuinely love interacting with our viewers. So thanks,
dude. 100%. That's the only reason why we do the lives, to interact with you guys. 100%.
That really is. I mean, we're on episode 177. This is nonstop every Thursday for like 3 years. We do it through Thanksgiving. I told my wife if this is on a Christmas, we will be doing it Christmas.
Yep.
So glad to be here with you guys. But with that, I will catch you all later. We will catch you next Thursday. Adios.